Hello, and let us continue our discussion with circuit elements. In my last class, I told you about the resistances. Resistance is a memoryless device and it is a causal element. Obviously, causal elements because its current value through the resistance right at this point depend upon the amount of voltage you have applied right at that point. Okay, why it is memoryless? Because it does not remember what voltage you applied it earlier. Because of that, it will change its magnitude of the current now. It is only concerned about what is the voltage right at this point of time across it, and resistance decides its current, dividing it by a constant value R, the voltage signal V by R. We have seen, and also it is a dissipative element. There is no scope that it will store energy or things like that. Now, today I will discuss about another important circuit element, which is an inductor. An inductor is essentially a coil which has got several turns like N wound over a ferromagnetic coil, and let us assume that I am using a very good conductor having resistivity almost zero, because every piece of wire has got a resistance rho L by A, you know that. But if the resistivity is very small, vanishingly small, or conductivity is very large, then very good material, let us assume. Ideally, of course, I cannot make a piece of wire which is not having any resistance. But let us assume that R is 0 of the coil. R of the coil is 0. Then it is an ideal inductor. R of the coil is 0. And it is an ideal inductor. Which is wound over a magnetic core material, very good magnetic core material, and also BH characteristics of this material is assumed to be linear. Okay. Now, if you pass some current through these turns, current will flow like this. Across AB, you connect some with controlling resistance, some battery, so current will be I, and it will produce a flux in the core. B it will produce. Direction will be clockwise because of this direction of the current. In any case, now inductance value L is defined as the flux linkage per unit ampere, that is N phi by I. Per unit ampere, how much flux is produced, that into number of turns present is inductance, and its unit is Henry. If phi is in Weber, I is in ampere, etc. Anyway, now this, if you look at this one, N phi is nothing but flux density B into cross-sectional area. What is cross-sectional area? Suppose the cross-sectional area of this magnetic core is square. This is the cross-sectional area. That is, B is always perpendicular to this area, so phi is B into A, you know that, and this divided by I will be your value of the inductance. Now then what you do is this N A by I, and for B what you write is mu 0 mu R into H. Is not B equal to mu H. And then what you do is this N A by I, and this mu 0 mu r you bring forward, and H is Ni by L. That you also know. What is L? L is the length of the mean flux path. This is L of the core flux path. I am not writing all the variable name, but you know this. So this I then goes, and your inductance value will be mu 0 mu r n square A by L. Hopefully it is correct, is not? So this is the value of the inductance L, and so from the physical dimension of the core, number of turns used, magnetic length you have used, this is the expression of any. You can manufacture some inductance values. Okay, and only thing I have assumed it, okay, resistance of the winding is vanishingly small and it is an ideal inductor. So this will be the thing. Now, unlike a resistance, when some current is passed through thing, it is DC value I have assumed. For any current I at an instant, this will be the phi. Even if I is time varying, only thing is phi 2, B2 will be time varying, is not? Instead of DC current capital I, if you pass any current I, then also this is true. Only thing capital I that I goes. So, flux linkage per unit ampere is the fundamental definition of inductance, and this equation can help you to manufacture an inductance of this much Henry, this much cold length, this, that, okay. Similar relationship for resistance, if you consider physical dimension of the wire, it is equal to rho L by A, you know, that is the rho is the resistivity, L is the length of the conductor, and A is the cross sectional area of the wire through which current flows. You know that. So let me write small. So similar expression for inductance, physical dimension, etc. You can find out that. Okay. Now this inductance, when carry current I, it produces flux, and this is the schematic diagram. Detailed diagram people don't draw, they draw this coil. It is understood it is wound over some iron material, good magnetic material. So flux lines will be like this. Okay, and the inductance value depends upon number of turns used. In fact, square of the number of turns used. If you double the number of turns, other things remaining same, inductance will become 4 times. Those things you just try to understand. So this is the value of the inductance. Now you know that in an inductor, therefore, this is the inductor. If I connect a voltage source, ideal inductor, mind you, L plus minus, and I will apply some voltage across it, time varying voltage, and it is expected to draw a time varying current IT. Isn't it? That is what it will draw. Now, if it draws a time varying current, then we know from, and there will be flux produced as this coil carries current, that flux too will be time varying, and Faraday's law tells us that there will be induced voltage across the coil. What is the value of the induced voltage? Its value will be N d phi dt. The voltage induced between these two poles. This is no supply voltage. The moment time varying current is passed, because I know inductor is nothing but this, a magnetic core over which turns are there. You are now passing some time varying current. The flux produced is in this direction at any given instant of time. If current is really entering through the upper terminal, coming out from this will be phi t, phi 2 will become time varying, and n is the number of turns. So flux linkage with the coil is n phi, d dt of n phi n you take out. So this will be the induced voltage in the coil. Okay. Now the moment you say that there is induced voltage in the coil, you must tell what is the polarity of the induced voltage, instantaneous polarity of the induced voltage. Is not? Now, the rule of that to decide about the polarity of the voltage is your famous Lenge's law. It tells that the polarity of the induced voltage will be such that it will try to oppose the current drawn by the inductor, because if suppose current is entering and going positive, di dt is suppose positive, please follow me my statement, what I am telling. Suppose it is a positive number here and di dt is also positive, suppose current is increasing, then the polarity of this induced voltage will be such, that is it is positive, di dt is also, because it is expected it will be time varying, I am not sure, di dt may sometimes become negative, positive, etc. But what I am telling, consider the instant when it is positive, di dt is also positive. That is, right now there is some current drawn from the upper terminal and it goes like this, and di dt is also positive, that is, current is trying to go up. The polarity of the induced voltage will be such that it will try to, so di dt positive means what? Flux is going to rise, isn't it? Because Ni after all decides the flux, other thing, constant. Therefore, your polarity of the induced voltage has to be, it will try to oppose the rise of current through the inductor, and it can only do so if its induced voltage polarity is opposite to that of the supply polarity. That's all. Okay, so this n d phi dt is the induced voltage and whose polarity is known to me. At a given instant, if it is positive, di dt is positive, E cannot but have this sort of polarity of the induced voltage from Lenge's law. That is what I am telling. Okay, now let us proceed. In d dt, we have found out phi is b into a. A is constant, cross-sectional area, take it out, in A d dt, you take Na out, B is the flux density which is a function of time now, Bt, and Bt is nothing but mu 0 mu r into Ht. A I have taken outside, then you write Na d dt, very simple mathematics, mu 0 mu r, Ht is nit by L, Ni by L at any given instant of time. Therefore, if you bring all these things outside, it will come out to be mu 0 mu r n square A by L. These are all constant into di dt. It will come out to be like this. But this expression is nothing but the inductance. That is how I have defined inductance. So it will be L di dt. Got the point? Therefore, the inductance, the voltage current relationship of an inductor, therefore will be like this. If current is entering, if you have applied a voltage with this polarity, these are important steps, Vt, this is It, then I will say voltage across the inductance is L di dt with this polarity. assuming didt positive, it positive at a given instant of time. You don't bother because didt may sometimes become negative, but this equation will take care of that. If you write assuming that okay, it is positive and didt is positive, you always say that polarity of the induced voltage is plus minus like that, L didt. You are done, because you don't have to scratch your head, okay, what happens when didt becomes negative. Okay, in that expression didt, if it becomes negative, then this voltage with this side plus this side minus, I am telling a negative number comes. Oh, actually the induced voltage is plus minus other way. So equation will take care of that. You don't worry too much about this. So this is the voltage current relationship of a inductor. So for a resistance, it was like this: plus minus, applied voltage, current enters here, and a voltage drop across the resistance with this polarity was this Ri. Applied voltage is Ri. In case of an inductor, it is not directly proportional to I. It is Vt is equal to L didt. That is the voltage current relationship of an inductor. Only one thing I will tell, and that is, okay, if you apply some voltage and if you apply some current, not current, voltage, of course one can apply current source, so we will discuss about that later. But suppose you have applied a voltage here. Now, so far, what is the power delivered by the source? Power delivered, see, this writing is very important, delivered by source is how much? This is the source. It current comes out from the positive terminal. It is delivering. That's why I have wrote delivered power. It is equal to Vt into It. Isn't it? Power is delivered by the source. And power, and this will be same as power absorbed by the source, absorbed by the inductor, this will be the power absorbed by the inductor. What is the power absorbed by the inductor? E into I. But E is L didt, which is there. So power absorbed is this voltage and current is entering through the positive. So it will be L didt into I. This will be the power absorbed by the inductor. Okay. Then you see, so the power absorbed by L is E into I, and that is equal to L didt into I. Isn't it? Now, this L didt is equal to V, so this is also equal to power delivered by the source, as we expect, because energy balance must take place. Whatever energy has been supplied by the source, that must have been absorbed by the inductor. That's it. So Vi. Anyway, but now I will do something else. Okay, this is the power, instantaneous power absorbed by L. Over a time dt, over a time, small interval of time dt, energy supplied to the coil, energy supplied to L will be then, this is Pt as a function of time, so Pt into dt, and this we write as dW, energy absorbed by, energy supplied to L is this much, or absorbed by L is this much, and this is equal to then L di dt into I into dt. So this dt, since it is a non-zero quantity, a small interval, you cancel it out and it is A I di. This is the inductance, energy absorbed by L over time dt. Over time dt. So total energy supplied will be L I di, and suppose, see here there is no time is there, but suppose over some time t, I want to calculate the energy stored, and by that time the current has changed from say 0 to capital I. So this will be half Li square. Got the point? So energy supplied over a given interval of time, and at the end of that interval of time I have to put the limits of integration, which is the value of I. Suppose the initial current was 0. So from 0 to whatever time you are telling, at the end of that time, suppose the current is capital I will say half Li square. Now this expression is very fabulous in the sense that at any given instant of time, if you know how much current is carried by the inductor, you know right now what is the energy stored in the inductor. This is in joules, mind you. Amount of energy stored in inductor is half Li square. If it is carrying 2 ampere current, if it is 2 Henry inductance, I will tell right now energy stored is half into 2 into 5 square, something like that, half. If you know the value of the current at any given instant of time, you know how much energy right now it is storing. That's all. Achha, now this inductor, as I told you, has got vanishingly small resistance. Although current is flowing through the wire, but I am neglecting that I square R lost, because I am telling that it is an ideal inductor, no resistance. Therefore, where that energy has gone, the energy is stored in these flux lines in the field. Okay, energy will be stored in the lines of forces. If lines of forces exist anywhere in space, magnetic lines of force, you know there is energy stored in it. Understood? I will tell you about this much more in my next class, because it is otherwise getting lengthened. But I hope you have understood that an inductor, these points are important as a circuit element. Now I will not bother about what is flux, this, that. Okay, constant inductor. As a circuit element, I will always say that voltage across the inductor is nothing but L di dt. With respect to this current direction, and this polarity has been decided, V L di dt. This relationship is same as this one for a resistance, but for a resistance applied voltage has to be Ri with this polarity. So voltage current relationship of an inductor is V is equal to L di dt, and inductor stores energy. Okay. When you extract that energy out of that inductor, all the lines of forces will collapse. Nothing. That is this coil. If no current is flowing and no flux here, even no residual flux, because I have assumed linearity, then energy stored will be 0. Mind you, energy stored depends on, okay, flux lines are present, energy stored is this much. Okay, So anyway, today I stop here, and I will continue to my third lecture soon. Thank you very much.